Kabunda NRM atera n'abalina abalamu bibiina ebirala by'opposition basuubira okubeerayo okuttaanya n'okuwumbawumba kampeyini y'abo abali ku luvuganya gavumenti omuli Alice Alaso ne Emmanuel Eratu owa FDC n'abalala. Ebinaaba binatujja bikutuusaako. Nkyalero the hot cup at 9. I'm privileged to host one of Uganda's top intellectuals and good educationalists, investors, good managers, one of the latest CEOs who have made a name in a speaking sense, Dr. Lawrence Muganga, the Chancellor of, Chancellor.
Vice Chancellor.
The Vice Chancellor. I'm giving you a top job. Is it the international practice that is there in a university where the chancellor stays at school all the time? Why is it always the vice to lead and not the chancellor?
So the cardinal role of a chancellor is more of not even strategic, but to, I should say precisely, to see off the fruits of this university, to graduate them and send them to them. Kind of.
Ceremonial.
Yes, kind of. I didn't want to put it that way. It's impolite.
Ceremonial. But I think some chancellors do a little more than that ceremonial role than those who on a daily follow.
They are, if you're lucky, you're going to get a great chancellor that is actually a voice of the university in particular boardrooms that you, the vice chancellor, will never be in, right? In other words, it does the advocacy of the university to different organizations, locally, regionally, and internationally, right? As they go along with their own businesses or their own activities, they remember that they also wear the hat of another university. So they chip in something to Muganga chaito kusaka.
Do you occasionally meet the chancellor to compare notes on how the university is running, its financial, its planning?
Sometimes you have to, because it's a necessity. You're obligated to report to the chancellor. Yes.
Okay. Welcome. I'm happy to have you.
Thank you very much. Who am I to be hosted by Sir Simon?
Oh, I'll start from what I had last week.
Yes.
That you are, you know, I was talking to a friend. There's a friend of mine who reasons as intelligently as you. It's called Mr. Isaac Mwesigwa.
Isaac.
He's the head of a school called Rise and Shine in Tinda. Rise and Shine is here, where the school where there's Victorious Education Center in Tinda. And then after I was talking to somebody, I said, there are people who are doing well in this area of education. One of them is Dr. Lawrence Muganga. He says, that one is spoiling the market. I said, how? He says he has called everyone that at university admissions will be free. Whoever wants to join Victoria University, you come. There are no admission fees. How does that work? You're spoiling the market.
You called him his Mr. Who?
Not the other one. The other one.
The other one is a great person. So now, you're saying, why am I spoiling the market?
Yes. It has never been heard of that you come to university and you're not going to pay admission fees. It's abnormal.
Okay. Now that is exactly where we get it wrong. When has education ever become, like, how has it become even a product to be marketed around, like to attract a price, to do everything? From what I know, education is a right. We begin from there. It's a public good, where the children of this country should be enrolled within the education system, where possible, at no fee. Maybe a parent could put together something that is going to sustain this child at school, to have lunch, to have breakfast, to be there. But it is supposed to be provided, offered at no fee. But
like wireless.
like so many other countries, we copied from this every education system that we emulate every day to be like them. You can move around. Let's start here. In our very country, we have UPE. It's not what we want to be. We are not there yet, but we should make it the best such that everyone should be embracing UPE, because that's where we arrive at the dream of having a public good. Education as a public good. USE, Universal Secondary Education. That's the beginning of having that very public good we crave for. But if you go to countries, one of them that I'm very familiar with, Canada, it's free, right? And it's made in such a way that even a child cannot go in a school beyond their boundaries. You stay in your boundary. You can't go, if this is in Tinda and your school, you live in Tinda, you cannot take your child to Kololo. No.
Stay within.
Stay within.
How about the issue of quality? There cannot be uniformity in quality.
No, education should be this. Should be like the quality should be the same, and those are the standards we should be paying attention to now, all right? So you go to Finland, free education, like at least like when from elementary or primary and secondary, free education. Go to Sweden, free education. Go like it's a public good. Now, you asked me why am I spoiling the market.
Because before even you answer that one, you know that in Uganda and many of African countries, free is associated with the poor quality. Once they say it is a free, then the quality is already compromised.
But that's again the mindset we need to change. Why? It's not free. You paid your... Simon, you pay your taxes. Don't you pay taxes to government? When government provides a service to support the future taxpayer, from the taxes paid vigorously, compelled sometimes, and the parent pays such taxes, is that education free? It's not. We paid for it. So people, citizens,
you paid for
people are paying for they have, you can even call it indirectly, but we have paid for the services we have to enjoy from government.
It's not free. Right? Okay, why are you spoiling the market?
Why am I spoiling the market? And I'm not spoiling. I am empowering. Let's use the right words. We are empowering. So you have been following what has been going on from the day UPE exams were released, from another day when UCE exams were released. So as these students are going back to school, it has been a song of everyone that schools have really hiked fees, right? Okay, schools have hiked fees.
Have complicated life.
They have complicated life.
Everybody's burden on the head. Every Ugandan parent's burden is, school fees is to say. School fees, everybody's pressures go up.
Thank you very much.
So it is that.
So in your own words, they have complicated life for parents.
True.
Now, where do we get students who come to us as a university? They come from the same parents that are burdened.
Yes.
So the onus of an educator who cares about the human capital of this country, who cares about this country, you have to see through all the shining things. Now, that's the money you collect in form of admission, in form of registration, and you say, you know what? Maybe this is the time for us to tighten the belts, all of us. The students I'm getting are coming from these parents who are overburdened. Can we reduce their burden? For Victoria University, we are very fortunate. We are very, very fortunate. We are lucky. Why? We have proprietors, the owners of the university, that have, and maybe you have heard about it, the Ruparelia family, right? They also have the Ruparelia Foundation. And they are very, very generous. And when we reach a situation like this, we say, you know what, our proprietors, this is the time you have also to give back to the country. They are not doing well. They are burdened. They have senior 1 students who are going back. Fees are up there. Senior, those who completed senior 4 coming from the same families going to senior 5, fees are up there. Can you give back at least something like registration and admission? Give it to us in form of scholarships in form of bursaries such that we can drop it for anyone who is coming to join Victoria University. Mm-hmm. That's how you see such
it's an initiative for that.
Yes, and I really thank the entire Ruparelia family for always endeavoring to give back to society. So this is what they give to Ugandans.
I say the burden because for an average parent from Busoga like me, for example, I have a child in every level of education. I have one in P1, I have one in P2, P3, P4. I think I have one in P7. The only class I don't have is P6. The rest of the classes, I have someone there.
And now,
but the challenge is that education in Uganda is an investment.
Right.
Why? Because government is taxing it. So people put up universities as a source of income. You understand? The church has said, what else can supplement our church incomes? They say we put a university. So we want to make money from them. Government is taxing them because they look at them as an investment, as a private investment for the owners. Now when you come with initiatives like, for example, the other day, I don't know whether they have stopped, your university was giving out free laptops. Is that still happening? So
what we have done, we have made, again, for us, like I said, our goals to, if education isn't, if we don't have universal, free universal education, we are trying our best as Victoria University to make sure we are closer to almost making everything so affordable, not free, because again we have to run the university, but very affordable, such that everyone has the opportunity to join a university that would give them not just education. Because now if you define education in our context in this country, everyone would walk away with a different definition. But meaningful education, right?
Meaningful.
At an affordable cost.
Yeah,
meaningful. Relevant education at an affordable price, right? So that's why you're seeing us, not that we want to spoil people's markets. No, we are looking at the pain of a Ugandan parent.
Because I'm looking at the business.
Yes.
In the business sense, because what you're saying is not what government understands. Government of Uganda knows that schools are investments, are businesses. Uganda Revenue Authority even last week sent me their reminder to pay income tax and the other taxes on a school. You understand? Now, that's how people have been collecting money. Now, when you make some of these things free, then some universities are going to collapse.
Ask yourself, Simon, from where you come from, right? I am sure, and where I come from, there are there are so many families that whose children would never afford university education if we leave it the way it is. If
many are held there.
They are there.
I actually those, for 4 years.
Those are potential taxpayers of this country. Those are potential parents. Those are potential family breadwinners. Those are supposed to take care of their own parents when they have reached the evening times of their life, right? If we don't really support those people, we should stop looking at education as that exorbitant space where you're going to make profits, right? Now, I hear you, and very loudly and clear with all other people who are into this space, who have invested money in education. And you know where we are right now? We are in what I could call the return on investment trap, right? And it has so many stakeholders. First of all, there is government, as you have put it, that has defined it as a business and expects people to make income, and they tax income, right? But there are also schools that have really invested their money into these schools. And sometimes you don't even have to blame schools for hiking the prices, right, of fees. Why? Because there is also a major stakeholder who is the bank that bankrolls them
Wonderful.
to be able.
Wonderful.
Yes, to
and
be
the bank literally as a business, they even ask you for a business plan, so they
Correct.
want you to charge and pay
And
back.
before they give you that loan or credit, they want to see that you're going to make money, and you're making money, and the interest, it has also skyrocketed there.
And you know what their considerations are? Your enrollment. How many students do you have? If you have as enough.
Now, you see, those are now so far three stakeholders.
So your model kills market for the three.
Now, we are coming there. There is also a fourth stakeholder who is a parent, all right?
Yes.
Now, the parent who is always...
Who is being milked by all the three.
Everyone, okay? And now we are saying, now when you see them, like the government needs taxes where you're making some income and profits. The school needs profits, and they want to get it in the short term because they also want to pay the loan. The guy who gave you a loan, the bank, needs their money instantly. If you default, they sell it off on the cheap, right?
And the taxman,
do you know the most suffering person is the parent? Because the money we are talking about to be secured is coming from the parent. So the price most of the time is going up and up and up. Now, that's how we come in. We are saying, you know what? Okay, we are a university that is not going to last for 10 years. No, we are a university for life in this country.
True.
Okay?
True.
So, if we are not going to make money now, it doesn't necessarily mean that we will not make it when these families have been empowered and government maybe has also invested in these schools and the prices of the fees has gone down, even the cost of borrowing has gone down. Maybe that time we are going to make money. But at this point in time, registration, admission, as supported by our proprietors through their Ruparelia Foundation, let us waive it off. And Ugandans can come to Victoria University, apply for university education, free of admission fees, free of registration fees, just pay tuition and tuition. Let me even talk about that. And you can challenge me live on Baba TV. We are the most affordable university in East Africa.
What are you saying?
I have said it. Victoria University is the most affordable university in Africa. Pick any degree program offered in this country. Name for me the price. Go to Kenya, go to Tanzania, go to Rwanda, go to Burundi. Maybe I don't know DRC and South Sudan. But
in terms of cost.
In terms of cost, we are the most affordable university in East Africa, offering the most meaningful education you will obtain in a degree program. Not just the theory in the classroom, but the competencies you get from having understood how to do things. Not the theory, but the experience, the competencies.
Most affordable.
Yes, sir.
I want to investigate the statement. It is a big one.
Can I give you an example?
Give me.
Tell me any university where you can study a degree program and you're paying 700,000 a semester. Ugandan shillings, not tuition a semester.
Other assortment of needs.
Do you mean books for students or what? Like,
no, there are other
now we have even removed admission fees. We have removed the registration fees.
Now there is tuition, which is 700.
700,000.
How much is your functional fees? Because is that nonsense also?
650 once a year, which is also charged even more by other providers. More than 650.
Functional fees is paid every semester.
Not in Victoria University.
Dr. Muganga.
I want to tell Ugandans watching us live on Baba TV on the hot cup.
I went to Makerere for my education.
Thank you very much. And I went to Makerere University for my bachelor's degree. I went to Makerere for my master's degree. And thank you, Makerere University. You provided us great education, me and Simon here.
It's great education. But functional fees
Yes.
was every semester.
So
every time you had to register.
I was on government sponsorship. I didn't pay a penny.
Oh.
Yes, I didn't pay. I was part of the 2000 that excelled, and we are taken on government sponsorship.
I never got that privilege.
Now, Victoria University Ugandans, fees, the most affordable and functional fees, as Simon puts it, for us, you pay it once a year.
So when I add 650,000 plus 1.4
a year.
A year.
Correct.
That's 2 million for a degree course.
Thank you very much.
And
so now, if you're going to study the 3 years,
that becomes
6 million.
6 million.
Tell me any other. Now, we are talking about, you talked about the market, the people in the market.
You think that you are the most affordable? The cheapest?
It's in this country, in East Africa. The most affordable in East Africa. Now,
so the cost of
let's think about a secondary school. Actually, if you did away with universal secondary education.
Yes.
Okay, those secondary schools. There is no
6 million.
There is no secondary school that is charging 700,000 a term.
No, even in a primary school where my child is.
Thank you very much. Even in kindergarten, to get a degree program. No private school in this country charges 700,000 per term, and which is even 3 terms.
No, many of
right?
those that say 700 add on a lot of other requirements, brooms, what, like that.
And it ends up where?
So every school has hidden costs. So what are your hidden costs?
Now you're hearing it from me, Simon.
Yes.
And take it from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
When you come to Victoria University, if you pick a program, for example, where semester tuition is 700.
I hear now people are praising you for low.
Exactly.
Your low is 700?
No, it is 1.2.
Low.
Yes.
Why?
Why? Is it too expensive, or
why is it not 700 like any other?
It depends, of course, on the kind of experiential learning that is going to happen. Like, there is always going to be like so much exposure these students are going to be experiencing, and all those things that we have to immerse them in the field is going to require resources. So we ask them to really pay a little bit more. It's a low degree, and we want to sharpen them to get the most meaningful skills that are required in this economy, right? But the hidden costs you're talking about,
yes.
We have told you that the hidden cost would have been functional fees, which I've told you, pay 650,000.
Once a year.
Once a year.
Which is 320 something a semester.
Thank you. And I want you to visit, say, our facilities. You will see why students pay the 650, the affordable 650,000 once a year. The facilities themselves, what they have to be exposed to.
The hot cup at 9 with Dr. Lawrence Muganga, Vice Chancellor, Victoria University. You know your model in this field, your models, some of those in this area. I don't doubt Luparelli as a businessman. I think he's a very good one, and I think he's a pioneer of many reforms in this sector. I am simply watching whether his reforms in the education, the university education area will really work. They look a bit extraordinary. Well,
thank you.
I want to see if they really work. But anyway, we have a short break.
They are going to work.
When we return,
and they are working.
We look at the model. Kubanga location ya mwiri wakati mu kibuga. So likuga nti Victoria University kanti ene y'omu kibuga ekisooka okujja mu bwongo bwe nti tebwanga esaba ssente nnyingi. Kubanga tulaba ow'omukyala tuga nti erina costs ez'ebirala n'ebirala kate gwali mu kibuga. okikola otya okuba nga oyagala obeere nga you are the cheapest university naye nga ate oli located in the most expensive environment to live in?
Neyanza Simon, let me explain this clearly to you and viewers of Baba TV. Number one, we are in the capital of the country, Kampala, for good reason. Tuine ensonga lwaki tuli mu kibuga wakati. Kankuwa ekyokulabirako. Olwaleero abayizi bava mu matendekero ag'enjawulo. Ndowooza tuyinza okuba nga buli mwaka tufulumya abayizi kumpi 15,000. Naye eggwanga liyinza okuba nga lyonna, when you look at civil society, private sector, public sector, liyinza okuba nga emirimu egitondebwa okuva mu sectors ez'essatu tegiwera 2,000. Naye tufulumiza abayizi 15,000. Naye ate nga n'ekyokusaalirwa ekirala, the other painful aspect is that when they graduate and come to the job market or the labor market waiting for them, the employer wants them to have at least some years of experience to get even the 20,000 jobs that exist.
For you to survive within the 20,000.
Thank you very much.
Have experience.
Okusobola okuva mu 15,000 giri wenyigirize mwebiri employer
yetaaga
webale nnyo
akusaba obumanyirivu
bwa myaka 1, 2, 3, 4 n'okudda waggulu. Naye ate nga bambi ekisinga okuluma oba ekyennaku, that there is no university that has given you experience. You have graduated with 0 years of experience. Now, Victoria University...
Because universities don't teach experience.
They don't. That's the unfortunate part. But we are supposed to teach experience.
How?
Thank you very much. That's why we are located in the capital.
How would you teach experience?
Thank you. That's why we are located in the capital of our country, Uganda, Kampala. Why? Oh, that's why we have the best online learning management system in East Africa, not in Uganda. Online learning management system, yes, in East Africa, not, and some have argued even Africa.
That one I agree.
Right?
Online, you're the
yes.
best.
Why? We want our students to continue doing the studying, but stay where you are, involve yourselves in the economic activities of that very community, identify a problem as we are teaching you, come up with a solution, monetize that solution, and make money, create your own job. That's why we have the best interactive online learning management system in the entire East Africa, and some say Africa, because now universities in South Africa, there's one university in Djibouti that they are asking to come and benchmark our system.
Really?
So now those are signs that we have the best online learning management system in the region. All right? Now, means anyone who is overburdened by family kind of chores, like they have to do so many things, they have to work and they can't get time to run to even the capital, they will stay where they are. They don't have to suffer the traffic. They will get the same meaningful education, but it will also give them the opportunity to be placed somewhere in a real company, do a real job, get the experience, and then graduate with years of experience. Now, that's why we stay in Kampala, in the core center, epicenter of all companies and businesses, that we are trying to make them our partners. We are trying to make them our co-educators. Now, we go to Stanbic, for example. They are our partners, and I'm really glad Stanbic Bank, I'm glad to say that they take on our students. Now, come to Victoria University. 1 month you're studying one module, maybe 2 days a week, one module. And then the rest of the days, we are placing you in the world of work to gain experience. It is a must. It's not negotiable.
That's working in Uganda.
You're talking to me. I am the Vice Chancellor of Victoria University, and that's what we do at Victoria University. We have MTN, who have been very good partners of ours. Okay?
That while I studied with you.
Yes, you are also placed
in MTN
or Stanbic Bank.
That while I study, I work.
You work. You gain experience. You gain your degree. Trap two birds with one what?
Stone.
Thank you. I don't say kill. Don't kill. Trap them with one stone. Come, Victoria University study. And if you are still in MTN and you are late, the traffic is too much, stay where you are. Log in into your best online learning management system. Follow your learning seamlessly. You don't have to worry. You are avoiding high transport costs. You are avoiding the cost of insurance that you have. You know, there are risks also in traveling. You're avoiding all that. You're avoiding to come and reach in the classroom when you're so tired. Like, we have made... Yes, sir.
Okumatiza omuzadde w'omukyalo nti omwana we asoma university education nga tazeeko mu kibiina kusisinkana basomesa naye atudde w'atuula ku kompyuta y'abisoma okumulowozesa nti byasoma ddala binnyikira bulungi ng'oli eyaveeka n'ajja mu kyalo kigenda kutwalira obulungi.
Kakati era kyenjagala n'okwongerako nnyinnyonnyola omuzadde oyo ali mu kyalo nti omwana wo bw'aba talina kintu kye tuyita digital literacies oba digital skills talina mulimo gwagenda kufuna mu nsi eno gye tubeeramu olwaleero naddala Uganda gye tulimu kubanga teri mukozesa yenna agenda kuwa mwana wo mulimu amugambe nti mpandikira ripooti n'engalo zo byakomye byaggwawo weebale nnyo kitegeeza nti ensoma ey'omulembe gye twandibadde twenyumirizaamu ye mwana okutuula ku kompyuta ye naaba ng'asobola okuyiga digital skills ezo naaba ng'asobola otypinga report n'agikola n'agiwaayo mu ddakiika ntono naaba ng'asobola okwemanyiza omutimbagano neyeemanyiza kompyuta tagenda kubikola nga tomutadde online okusobola okufuna obumanyirivu obwo. So kyetugamba nti abazadde mbeegayiridde tukyuseemu engeri gye twategeeranga education ze nange kennyini olwasooka okukwata ku kompyuta nali ndowooza mu first year e Makerere naye nga nayo tusimba line zaali computers 20 naye ng'abayizi tuweera 3
musimba line
okukwatako si kugikozesa olabe bakunnyonnyole nti kino kikola bwe kiti na kino kikola bwe kiti naye ate ng'olwo bakugambye wasomye IT waliwo koosi gye wasomye ya IT naye nga bagikunnyonnyodde bunnyonnyozi tutege ogenda ovaayo nga tosobola kutayipinga ng'olinga omanye enkoko bw'erina obugere bumeka ng'eringa etambula ku keyboard bwet. So kati ekyo kyetukyusa nga Victoria University era omuzadde yenna gy'ali yandibadde yeenyumiriza mu nkola eno nti ye enkola ey'omulembe ye enkola eya tekinologiya owaleero ate bigenda kuba bizibu gye bujja bw'atayiga bintu bino olwaleero
abazadde bibamalako emirimu batutumye kompyuta taata baagala kompyuta baagala laptop.
So the parents have to embrace this as fast as yesterday, not even now, because the world has changed.
Do you realize that you're operating in a different country? We're in Uganda, but you want to do things like Canada or elsewhere.
But
how easy is that?
Now,
you want to do things in a different way.
No, we are not doing the things the different way. We are doing the right things that our country needs. We are doing the right things that the parents of this country needs, the children of this country needs. Because for them to survive in this world which has become like one village, because of the technology we are exposed to right now, you have to do things this way. You have to help parents save money. Because if a student can stay in Imbarara and they have a very good high-speed internet, they have that's the investment.
That's why I'm telling you that you're in a different country. When you say very high-speed internet in the Mbarara in this country?
No,
really?
Let me tell you.
Internet?
Let me tell you one thing.
Or you are going to invest in internet?
And also we are working on that. We are working with our internet providers, service providers, to also try to create pockets of high-speed internet in the areas where we have many students around the country. No, we are not sleeping. We are moving there. We are trying to work with our ISP, the internet service provider, to make sure they throw pockets of high-speed internet on our coast, okay, in these cities where we have more students, to try to, again, offload that burden from students.
Obanga alikoba nti oidi abana bo bali kusoma ku byeza admission eza registration ebyo byabwerere omwana ayidde bwidde asabe mumuwe ekifo ku university
kituufu
aye toli tugabira free transport so omwana ava ewaife Bulamoji tomwe transport yayidda Kampala so kiraba enje okuyiza ku nti ojja kuta study center eidinda omwana yayidda asomere eidinda ndikubona oluseto likukyenda
kakati eyo gye twandibadde tulaga naye nkunyonyodde nti olwaleero kyangu nnyo ate kiyamba omuyizi okuba nga alina kyafunamu ekyomugaso okusigala wasigadde kasita aba nga alina internet n'asobola okusoma ng'ali awo tasasudde transport ayize emmere alidde ku yawaka
kasaba mukizo okutula mu kasenge okusoma yekka addako okumanya nti ndi
weebale nnyo risk z'omuzadde okweraliikirira nti ate omwana wange bw'aba mwana wa buwala bannange oba omwana agenda kwonooneka bw'aba mwana wa bulenzi nti naye bagenda kwonooneka engeri gye sitakyamulabako ezo zonna ozikendeezezza naye ate n'ekirala ekyomugaso ennyo digital skills zeyeetaaga zotajja kutuula mu kibiina bakusomese zeezo employer waleero zakola ki zano zeyeetaaga so yensonga lwaki tuli mu kibuga wakati kugondeza bannayuganda bafune ebyenjigiriza ebyomulembe ebyetaagibwa ate nga tebiri ku buseere.
How often do you share such ideas with friends in government? Say the Minister of Education, because you cannot operate as one man in an island. You need the others to understand what you understand. I'm looking at it, for example, there are many Ugandans here who have gotten degrees. I've personally done a course. I'm doing a course in public relations with the University of Nairobi, but online. To the contrary, many people here are yet to be convinced that you can study online and actually study good.
Yes.
You understand? So in that environment, you need to talk to the people in government so that we make that popular now. That somebody knows there's no reason you come from Katakwi to study at a university in Kampala. You can actually stay in Katakwi and maybe come once for a few things to clear.
Correct.
Once a year. Yeah. But that, if only Victoria University is understanding and doing that and the others are not doing it, you remain isolated. You look abnormal. People think, you know, in this country, there is that tendency that those who do the right thing are looked at as the wrong ones, and then those who do it the wrong one are looked at the right ones. So, do you have forums where you meet them and interact? Because there are even others where we have come from who are still in colonial thinking.
Mindset. Very good question again. Truthfully, we do interact severally. All right? And we do communicate all these initiatives. And trust me, they see, they know.
Do they see sense in what you say?
Yes, 100%. They see. Of course, someone would default on the budget to try to scale these initiatives around the country.
Because it's expensive.
But one thing I can assure you, Simon, and Ugandans, is that government is listening. I don't know if you read the Monitor of Saturday, where the reforms that are being introduced.
Yes, and that's where we are going. That's where we're going. That's why I'm taking you.
Exactly, right?
So that tells you overall. There is an overhaul.
Thank you, government, and I couldn't be more proud. I want to say this to the Minister of Education, Honorable Janet Museveni. That is the way to go. And congratulations. Please kindly implement those reforms that you proposed.
She's kutaganjulanga.
This is the time you make your legacy. You change, you flip a model that is not working and give Ugandans a model that is working. And everyone will always remember that we had this Minister of Education that actually created a generational legacy.
The new model is actually long overdue.
It is long overdue. We needed it 30 years ago. And
so this is what I was interested in. This is what I was interested in. Have you had the opportunity?
Yes.
To meet
I have had,
yes,
I have had.
And talk to her about such things.
Let me even tell you, I have had the opportunity severally to sit down with her. She's amazing. She understands the problem within education. She admires my writings, the books I write. I don't know if you have heard her actually making comments about my book. So she understands. And I am really, really happy that she's implementing these changes. They are coming. They are coming. They are slow, but they are coming. It is better late than never. And I appreciate them.
Would you therefore take up a job with government to implement that with the ministry? Instead of working for the Rupaleria, who is a private citizen, you go and work for government, where you have opportunity to do this for all Ugandans instead of the Rupaleria group.
Now, let me tell you this. Government also sometimes is going to need a model where sometimes you create. Now, we want to create, and I'm not shy, I can't shy away from saying this. I am at Victoria University to create a model of higher education. One day, I want to see higher education institutions looking at Victoria University, coming to Victoria University as a jurisdiction, as an area they want to study and go back and implement what we have done. Because I think and I am convinced and I know, I don't even believe, I know that what we are doing is what the country needs and should be embraced by every higher education institution in this country. You are deliberately
avoiding my question. I'll give you an example of Ramadan Govi, who was a lecturer at MUBS. Who is now our PSST. You can even see, you know, when Govi spoke some good month ago, I did not listen. I said, when they were when the fuel prices were going high and they were not doing anything, I said, what type of government is this? Now, yesterday, when I looked at the prices of diesel and petrol, really down.
They are coming.
Almost 6,000 to 4,000. And then I saw what they are planning, their new budget framework. I said, maybe this man is slowly beginning to work. Now I look at Muganga as PS, Minister of Education, to have an opportunity to roll out the models you are talking about.
Now here is
why do you want to insist that Rupaleria's foundation don't want to go?
Let me tell you one thing. First of all, commenting on what you have just been talking about of Dr.
The inflation controls.
The PS.
Of Govi.
Dr. Govi. He's trying. The problem we are facing is not a Ugandan problem. It was a universal problem. But now things are coming down. They're coming down. So, and kudos to them. They are trying to manage the economy, but they can do better. We hope that they do even better, right? Now, coming back to your question, let me tell you, I am very, very grateful to the Rupaleria group, Rupaleria family. Dr. Sudhir Rupaleria and his entire family, they gave me the opportunity to give back to my country. So for as long as I still have my contract, I am going to do my best, and I honor my contracts, right? I am going to do my best to make sure that Victoria University provides model.
So by contract, you want to start Victoria University. When is it expiring? So the government can book you in. Yes.
5 years.
5?
Yes, 5 years.
5 years from now?
Yes.
You're still at Victoria for another 5
years?
Yes. And you think you're comfortable that Sudhir Rupaleria can pay you better than what government versus you do enjoy?
I am definitely. Listen, here is the thing. The one thing, like, let me tell you, I left a job in a developed country in one of the best universities in the world, top 50 universities, paying me better. I took up this job. Why? Because what I do there, they have done everything. Their education is superb. Yes, they can do better. So in other words, model. You are not even a small grain of sand in an ocean, right? In Canada. Mm-hmm. But if I think I can contribute something to my country, something, if I can bring impact to the education sector of this country, because I believe everything is made or broken by education. You make it great, you're going to have the best citizenry, the best citizens of this country. You make it terrible, you're going to have the worst people of this country. So my job is, I am here, not about the money. There is also those other intrinsic benefits that you earn by having the sense of satisfaction because you have also created an impact.
Assure me that you think you have a platform to exploit all your potential at the Rupaleria University, the Victoria University. You'll do all of that you want to do. Apparently. And that from Victoria University you can change the model of education in the whole country from Victoria University?
Apparently it is working.
You're sure?
Now, let me tell you, I am just looking forward for a day where 95% of Victoria University students are leaving the university, but they all have jobs working for other people or have created their own. That is my legacy. And if that is not good enough for the country, if that is not good enough for other institutions of learning to emulate, then I don't know what is good.
So for now, Muganga, I admire Dr. Muganga's working model. I've been an employer for some time, although also employed by others. And I realize that our people come and ask for jobs, and when they're asking for jobs, they show you that they will give you 100% of their time and devotion to work. Mm. And when the real time to work comes, they start giving you excuses. I have lost this one, I'm dead here, this one is happening, which way with you, and that kind of thing. I have not seen many people, I think you should be the fourth person, if not the third, who gives in yourself to do a job and you become that job. Now in Uganda, you are Victoria University itself. In fact, you need to warn Sudhir that very soon, people may not know it that it is his university. Here, when we were speaking about it, we said this is Muganga University, and Muganga. Because almost 24 hours, you are Victoria University, you are speaking Victoria University. Every time you are thinking about the university, you are thinking about new things to do. I've interviewed 3 of your students to know whether they know you personally and they understand what you stand for. I think one of them is Farouk Wasige. And they understand you. First, they know you, that this is the man. But they also understand the reforms, the direction, the philosophy of your education model. That's a great one.
That's amazing.
It should be one thing to... Speaking generally, last week, you know, we have an education review commission in the country. Somebody did suggest that we should scrap primary leaving examinations. What's your view?
Did you say I suggested? Because I did. It's me who said that. In 2017.
You said in 2017?
Yes, and I've consistently kept saying that.
That we should scrap PLO.
And I am glad Dr. Mvawara also echoed the same.
Dr. Mvawara said it just this year.
Yes, he said actually like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yes, 2 weeks ago, yes.
He was talking to the Education Review Commission.
Where he is a vice chairperson.
I am really grateful he did that, and I applaud him.
So you had talked about this before?
Yes.
What was your thinking? Because his thinking was that the PLOE grading, where you said on a good day has gotten 99, so he's failed, would it be unfair to pronounce a 13-year-old child a failure in life like that?
Now,
what was your reasoning?
Now, Simon, actually, before I give you my reasoning, let me thank you for having appreciated my resiliency. And it, truthfully,
and I'm told it is the DNA of people who work for Sudil. If you must work for Sudil, you don't give him
I
half
don't know
time.
how he identifies that. I could say he's a talent hunter.
He's a hands-on businessman.
Yes, so, but that's who I am, naturally. If I will do something for you, I will do it. If I will not do it, I will tell you I will not do it. Period. So, I also love the...
In fact, you're the only vice chancellor in Uganda who has shares in the university you head. Sure, I believe you have shares. I believe you have shares. The passionate way you do it means you have shares. So you are a vice chancellor owner of a university. I think.
I would not blame you to think like that. Because, like you said, I have lived Victoria University. I breathe Victoria University. I feel Victoria University because I want it to become something important for this country.
The newspapers, right? On social media, on TV, yes, on radio, and you have all the time.
Because I have the passion to make education meaningful. And the only platform I have is Victoria University. I have the thirst to make this country, through higher education, the best country admirable by other countries. I want other countries to look at our education system and we become the go-to area when it comes to higher education in Africa. And we can do that. Now, shares in Victoria University? No, I don't have any shares. I am an employee of Victoria University who was gracefully given a job by the proprietors, by the council of the university, as approved by the proprietors, the board of directors of the university, headed by Dr. Sudhir Pareria. Period.
No shares.
No shares. But I love what I do. I love...
You put all that energy when you have no shares.
Yes, and I put...
So when the university grows tomorrow and you are out.
My approach is twofold. Is grow a university that is beneficial to the country. In the process of growing the university, that is my other way of contributing to my country, to become the best when you talk about higher education. That is my contribution. So even if tomorrow I am not at Victoria University.
Certainly you will leave.
Certainly I will leave.
You never know, after 5 years I will be the vice chancellor there.
Certainly I will leave.
Yes.
But I will leave.
And I could replace you.
But I will leave contented that I have contributed to my country. I have at least been part of the journey to better Uganda's higher education.
You don't mind about having shares there?
I don't do what?
You don't mind about having shares in there?
As a human, no one minds anything that makes them better off. Yeah, but I don't have the shares. But I wouldn't mind having them. If you woke up, if you have shares, I don't know actually the directors. If you are one of them, of course I know my directors, but if you ever happen to have any stake in it and you give me shares, I will take them. Trust me. And if Dr. Sudhir, the Rupareria family chose and realized I've done a great job and they gave me a share, even one, I will appreciate it. But I don't have one. But I want you to remember that every child, every student we educate at Victoria University is not a student or a child or a citizen of Victoria University.
Not at all.
This is the human capital of Uganda. So my works, whatever I do, is the very, very little thing in my small powers that I can contribute to my country. If they turn out to be the best graduates that the country needs, I'll have succeeded and I'll have given back to my country. That's it. Let's go back to your question.
PLE.
My take. Let me tell you. Let me give you I'll start with an example. There is a young lady called Patricia. She's deaf. Deaf. and dropped out of school in senior 2. Today, she has done her best out of the misery, like through misery, through all obstacles and barriers, has trained herself as a coffee barista. Yeah, she knows how to make coffee for people.
Yes.
A young girl who is deaf. But do you know what is amazing? She's also contesting for Miss Uganda 2023. And she's in the top finalists. You see that?
Yes.
A young girl, deaf, senior 2 dropout, endeavored to develop herself with a skill and contesting for Miss Uganda 2023. I couldn't be any happier to see her as a role model of society. Now, bring that back to PLE. Now, do you know what the system would have told that girl?
It already dropped out in senior 2.
In senior 2.
So it's condemned as a failure.
So somehow the system...
No O-level certificate, no A-level
Do you know how many kids like that are condemned by that exam, PLE, and they are left behind because
they failed PLE?
And then they tag them failures.
Failures, yes, we know them.
Simon, in your experience on earth, is there a parent who wakes up and gives birth to a failed child?
No one is interested.
Thank you very much. Every child that is born, fellow Ugandans, has inner potential, has interests, has natural abilities that are just waiting to be harnessed. But if you measure this child's potential by 4 subjects, English, history, math, and science, and you reach a conclusion because they have not given you 100% of what you gave them, you reach a conclusion to say that they are failures.
And therefore?
No, the system is the one that failed to understand the child. Because the child has more potential than just SST, than math, than science, than English. The way you see Patricia, who is now contesting for Miss Uganda, and she's deaf, and she's a senior 2 dropout, the system rejected her, but she's contesting, and she's in the top.
I like that everybody in us is born with the potential, many attributes, many abilities, 20 or so, that we summarize and say if you have not passed the 4 subjects, so all is
done. You are a failure. Honestly. And let's even put more meat to that. These subjects have been studied for the last 7 years.
Yes.
And now, after 7 years, within the 7th year, you're asking these children to sit down and recall. Remember, it is recalling.
Recall,
it's
yes.
not competence-based.
Yes, it is recall.
Okay? It's not continuous assessment that you're going to look at.
No.
Recall everything I gave you from primary 1 to the time you are sitting exam 7 years ago, and give it back to me in 2 hours. And then you're going to determine like you're going to determine that this child is a failed child. 2 hours after studying 7
Summarize what we have taught you in the last 7 years. In 2 hours.
And if you can't recall that, you are a failure. Now, let's go back to the real world. Because the real world doesn't work like that. Simon and viewers, where in the world do we work like that? If you need something from me, and I don't have an answer right now in real life, I'll tell you, Simon, I'll get back to you. Even my supervisors, when they give me an assignment, they give me time to go and research and put things together, write a report, and come and make a presentation. And when I make a presentation, they expect me to receive feedback. And I go back and I correct it, and I bring a better version. But the exam is not like that. They bring it in front of the desk of this child, upside down, They will ask this child, do not touch,
open the paper.
Open that paper
Until
until told to do so. It is
Without
now,
that intimidation surrounding
it is now 8:58. You still have 2 minutes. Relax. It's 9 p.m. Open the paper and start. The clock is ticking. Do you know the tension, the stress, the high blood pressure,
the fear
infusing on this child? Now you wonder why we have so many people at a young age that have high blood pressure. Like you're continuously depressing this child. The system doesn't know whether this child is coming from an abusive marriage where parents are fighting.
The echoes of time out, pens down, stand up.
The system doesn't understand whether this child did not even have dinner, didn't eat any food. The system doesn't understand that maybe yesterday...
The distance the child walked to come and do the exam.
The health of this child may be changed. The system doesn't understand how long this child walked to come to school, but you expect them to give you 100% of what you gave them in the last 7 years in 2 hours. And if they don't, they give you only 49 out of 100, they are failures.
So you think PLE does not work?
Now,
to you?
Ask yourselves, all of us and viewers and you, where have you used your PLE certificate? Where? That pressurized you.
My PLE certificate.
Yes, that you're nagging your children. If they don't get aggregate 4, you even reject them. You're even about to send them out to look for their own schools. You think they are not human enough because they failed to get 4. That is abnormal and it is not right. Sane education systems that we inherited this wrong education system from, they had it, they moved away from it decades and decades ago, and they are implementing something new. They are not asking kids of that age to sit for a national exam.
But I can remind you that by end of my primary 7, I had competently learned how to write. Speak some good English. Knowing many things around me.
Yes.
The Polynesians used to study. Yes, there
okay.
Be a few
Can't
things.
You do those things without writing the exam? Continuous assessment.
Yes, I can.
All right? Continuous assessment. Let these people, like the schools take over, the teachers take over.
Okay, if we got out PLE, what will be the alternative?
Now, let me even, before we even go to the alternative, I'll give you the alternative. Now you reach a time and ask yourself, why are we doing this anyway? We know it is disastrous. We know that it is a burden to these students.
No, we don't know it is disastrous. We don't know.
We don't know?
We don't know.
People know. People know. But the parents have been hoodwinked to think that they are buying value in form of aggregates, like grades. Now, I want to call upon parents. Don't pay for aggregate 4. Don't pay for grades kindly. Pay for competencies. Let schools now impart competencies in our children as they grow up, because the world needs competencies.
What do you mean if you say competencies now? For a primary child, okay, give me an example.
Now, you could even have, for example, a workshop where kids, those who are interested in, their passion is to follow a carpentry, industrial design or something, learn these things. They can do these things, right? Others who are interested in music and everything, like let also them, like those vigorous extracurricular programming for these students to come out of P7 when they can actually do something. And then the way you assess them should be continuous, that everything I have been doing along the way to in this journey until I reached here counts. You don't disregard it.
By the way, if in primary 1, a child started, for example, giving an example, like started doing tailoring.
Yes.
If in primary one he was able to make a simple child dress, by primary 7 he would be able to make a wedding
One
gown.
of the best designers you could ever have.
True that.
Now, the challenge
if he was developing that skill over and over again.
The challenge we have that you actually started with asking me spoiling the market. I know there are some people who are going to feel bad, especially people who own schools. Let me tell you, this grading is only helping people who are making money out of the education system. Why?
The PLE grading.
PLE grading. How and why? How? The more the school has been categorized to be getting D1s, first grades, because naturally a parent loves their child. All of us, we love our children, and we want to expose them to the best. And we've been told that the best is aggregate 1.
4. You
get 4. So all of us, we seek for the school that is known for getting
first
4s.
grades.
And then the moment all of us, we overflow to this place. Do you remember the simple economics, the law of demand and supply? Now, because demand is too much, and that's why there's this process of selection. Remember how head teachers and other people come into one place to select. And then when they select, whoever had their D1s that they wanted up to 6 and gave them the first choice, the other group that gave them first choice, but maybe they wanted up to 5, 6, 7, those who gave them, they sell them. Who are you selling? Like, selling what?
That's it.
Right? Now, because they take few, they
tell you. In your mind, there is Canada, you don't know Uganda. That's Uganda. That's the problem.
So now, because there is that huge demand, then if I own the school, this is the time I raise my price. Because there are so many people demanding my product or my service.
And once the enrollment is high,
yes,
you can give this to the bankman and say, by
correct,
the way,
now I need a better loan for expansion. Okay? So that is it. Now, the moment our government recognizes that education, I know they know this, the First Lady is very, very intelligent, she knows this, that education is supposed to be a public good.
True,
more investment should be.
It's good you use the word supposed to.
It's supposed to be. And supposed to be a right. And more investment in public schools is more needed to bring competences up there such that parents can now come to public schools, all public schools, instead of putting so much money paying for something that is not actually beneficial to the lives of these children. So if public schools can offer the quality private schools are offering, not the grades, quality is not the grades. No, competencies is the quality.
How can we achieve uniformity in grades? That if I took my child to any school anywhere, I actually expect that they are getting the same thing. Now, because the reason we had PLE is that PLE was like the only way we could test that a child in Kampala can do as good as one in Soroti.
Isn't that a problem in itself?
That one in Katakwi can get 4, meaning that while this one was in Kampala eating bread and butter, and the one in Katakwi was surviving on cassava, he too can get the 4 aggregates like this one. But, so it becomes an equalizer in our system.
But isn't that problematic enough itself?
How?
That is wrong equalization. Let me tell you why it is wrong. Now consider a child in Karamoja, all right? And in their PLE, I'm just assuming, making it up, I don't know if it's true, like this child finds a question in their PLE, if maybe social studies, telling them to talk about the traffic jam in Kampala. When has this child in Karamoja ever seen traffic jam?
Does he even understand the why?
Now, why are you talking about equalization?
No, the teacher did tell him, so we want him to cram and speak in the way
so
the
what
teacher
they
did.
What people are calling equalization is that they are forced to cram traffic jam where? In Kampala, even if it is irrelevant to their own locality, environment.
Let's have a short break. We'll be right back short after the break. Paka sawa itanu edawuli kujja tukwogera ku mbeera ey'ebyendegeresa ni Dr. Lawrence Muganga, Vice Chancellor wa Victoria University esoose mu Uganda okutulawo esente d'okufuna ekifo. Ankobye wano ati bo batolewo boli kwenda okufuna ekifo bamala okusoma senior 6 yo senior 4 yo ngoli kujja kufunayo kifo nabyo oli kwenda okusoma kosi oli kwenda okusoma jana mpapulado iduza mufuna kifo ezasenda kufuna kifo eza registration fees bwojayo ni badi kusaba me am an investigative person bwoja ni bakusaba esente nkubire izimo koti muna Muganga gankobya ati mbawe yemitwalo 5 oba onambye next time bwe mufuna kanti you see you said people are going to do this, but we are looking at the education system in general. Dr. Muganga,
yes sir,
government is attempting to cap school fees to give all schools, private and public, a limit on how much they should charge under all circumstances, and they've split their money into two, what they are calling school fees and other requirements, limited to a maximum of 1.6 million. Would you buy into the model?
Simon and the viewers, right now our education sector is experiencing something I would call the stakeholder return on investment trap or dilemma, right? Yes, the return on investment dilemma or trap. The parent needs return on investment.
The worth of what is paid.
Of what they have spent while educating their child. Okay? The government as well, the return on investment of putting in place education and facilitating education is that they want an educated child that is a good
a citizenry that is improved, reflecting
a
what they
productive
do.
member of society.
Yes.
But do you know what they are getting right now? According to the UN Human Development, whatever you call it, index, they are getting 40% of all the productivity of a child, a Ugandan child, only stops at 40%. Again, the return on investment, what? Dilemma.
For government
For
now.
government. The parent.
We start with the parent.
We start the parent.
The school, no?
The parent who sends this child to school and is expected to pay more every day. Prices keep going up, like the hike. The return on investment has been their child when they finish university, like the graduates you can see. I can tell out of how many that graduated like last week, you could realize that 90% are seated at home with their parents, waiting for a miracle to get a job someday.
And calling us every day to tell us if there is anything here for them to do.
And if you ask them, okay, what can you do, they will say anything. As if there was a bachelor's degree they learned called a bachelor's in anything.
Bachelors of Arts in anything. That's
it's not there. So that's the education system we have. That's the return on investment trap. Now, the schools...
Even the child, by the way, even the child,
course,
when I graduate, I want to see where I can go and practice what I've studied.
Even the child, all the hopes, anticipation have been just diminished. And it is just the beginning. You're talking about the recent graduates. How about those who graduated last year? About 3 years ago, or 4 years ago. And they are still roaming the street if they have one. There are those who don't have
home
street.
wait. There are those who simply go back to the village.
And they have even sold off every land to bring them to school. So that's a dilemma for all the stakeholders. Now, the school owners themselves, for them to put up the buildings you see, the services they provide, boarding schools provide food and everything, it's going to require money. And they're going to go to the banks. And they're going to take all these loans. So the cost of providing education for them has also become expensive. And now they are saying, we can't bear this burden. We can't bear this burden alone. Can parents also chip in? Only that the chip in they are saying is now too much for parents to bear. because the economy is not affecting only schools. It is also affecting the pockets of the parents. The banks, the economy as it affects everyone, because banks no longer receive deposits from the public because they don't have nothing to deposit, for them to have too much money to throw, not to throw around, to lend around. So they are also demanding high
interest rates.
Yes, on their loans. So now everyone is struggling. But there is one...
The bank running after the school owner.
Yes.
The school owner running after the school manager.
The school manager. Thank you very much.
The school manager running after the parents.
Yes. And then the parent is also going to run to the bank to borrow and send the child to school. So this is problematic for everyone.
That's what you're calling the return on investment
trap or dilemma. Everyone is in a trap. The circle is just not going to be completed. Everyone, like the parent needs to take this child to school, and too much money is required of them. The bank has given money to the school, and it is also demanding high. The cost of borrowing has become high for the school, and the cost is also offloading the burden to the parents to pay back the interest. And government is also saying, pay us some taxes if you're private, and we are demanding that produce quality citizens. So we are just there. Now we have to go back to the basics and ask ourselves, why was even school invented in the first place?
Why did we need schools?
Why did we need school? And why do we need schools? Is the reason why we need school is to make sure the citizenry of any nation is prepared and empowered to become productive and cause economic growth and later on economic development that is sustainable for that country.
Some nation building.
Are we getting it right now? No. Why? If look at the PLE people who finished PLE, they started as 1.9 million. They finished 800,000, meaning they left behind their counterparts 1.1 million.
But the 800 you're talking about are not those who got the first grades.
No.
Not
all
those who sat.
And even those who got the first grades. If Uganda's problems were going to be solved by first graders, we wouldn't have any problem in this country. So that means it is not working. We have so many problems, but we don't have so many solution developers or people who bring solutions or so many problem solvers. We don't have many. Innovators.
But the first grades are all over.
First grades
all over.
Is all over.
All over. Every year.
That means the system is not working. The system should be churning out people who are problem solvers. The way they are educated, the way they are assessed should be one that leaves them with something they can do any day they exit the door of any level of education. If they can't do nothing, then the system is faulty somewhere. So therefore, the parents are made to pay for something that is overrated.
What did you say?
The parents are paying for something that is overrated. So therefore, we have to go back to the basics and understand the importance of education, and government reprioritizes, prioritizing. If they have prioritized, they should up their prioritization and cater for education, because we know that's how we are going to get a productive human capital that will make our bigger society better off. That's where we are going to reduce the number of dropouts from 1.9 to maybe finish 1.5. Even the 400 left behind is too much. Too much. So because that is the country's human resource that is wasted. There are always models that can uplift everyone. So now, the fees you asked me might take, it is not right.
The fees cap.
Yes, it is not right for the parent, because they are purchasing grades instead of competencies. Something should be changed. It's okay, you can keep all your grades all you want, but make sure people have the competencies. And now, the only thing we can do to reduce this is bringing in what you talked about, the equalization. And now how do you bring in meaningful equalization?
That's what government is doing, in bringing the money, that all schools charge equal money.
Yes. Now, do you know what would actually erase this kind of skyrocketing hikes of fees?
No.
Remove PLE. Once you remove PLE, it means that all the money you've been spending to administer exams, to do everything, of course UNEB may feel bad about this, you're not going to invest it back to teachers to be able to carry out continuous assessment, from which everywhere, like any teacher in any school, wherever they are located, carry out continuous assessment, and then it trickles up, Ministry of Education, maybe through UNEB, to suck it out of the schools, and then you're going to have the performance of all the children throughout this country. That means a child in Karamoja is caring about what matters in their own environment. They don't have to be compared to the child in Kampala because their environment is different, and it will never be the same until that child moves to where? To Kampala. You can't compare.
But now imagine the day that child moves from Karamoja to Kampala. How do we cope up with life?
Now, listen, now that's why we teach, instead of we talk about competences, that's why we teach competences, soft skills, everything that matters. Not science alone, math, English, and SST, but other soft skills that you and I, like acts of kindness. How do we communicate to each other? How do we love others? Good attitude, loving your country, patriotism. Like, there are certain virtues, values that society needs.
Those are important?
They are very, very important. Now,
more than the education certificate
have we talked about what we studied in math, me and you?
No, we haven't.
Have we talked about what we studied in science ever since we started that from 9?
No, not at all.
So then why are they so much important? If you're going to become a science professor, if you're going to become a mathematician, who is going to become an engineer, it's okay.
In fact, between us, what has mattered from the time we started is the respect that when you are talking, I have to listen, and when I...
Listening skills, thank you. Patience.
That's all.
Okay. Those skills are the ones that are going to enable this child to come from Karamoja and fit in Kampala. And the reverse is true. Right? So, these things like, let me give you another example that overwhelms people. I don't know if people get time to think about this. You have traveled out of this country.
Certainly.
And so many Ugandans have gone out of the country and they have boarded a plane. Some people, you're going to board our Uganda Air. You go to any destination you want. So Uganda Airlines will take you somewhere, or you'll board any other airline. Mr. Simon, I don't know, maybe they are there. Have you found a captain who is a professor, who has a PhD?
A PhD?
Yes.
As a pilot?
As a pilot.
Not even, not at all.
Don't you?
They always tell us the captains. Nobody has said Professor Gondi.
Do you know the way they study and they develop their competencies? Most of them are not degree related at all. But everyone trusts, we trust them with our lives. Do you know trusting someone to fly you up miles and miles?
3,000 kilometers.
And sustains you up there until they bring you down, and has no degree, no master's degree.
And up there, all your life is only up to him.
Thank you very much.
Whatever mistake he makes,
yes,
you have no.
It doesn't matter whether you have the best president in the world, the best doctor in the world, the best wife.
Do we even ask for the qualifications of the captains before we board?
They are not even asked to pin them around for passengers to see. Right? Important skill called trust. Trust the system they go. Trust. Okay, which curriculum is teaching people trust? So we trust this pilot that will take us from Johannesburg back to Entebbe.
And that trust skill is the most absent. I don't want to take you into the iron sheet
so
somewhere,
now,
but you know that they are not.
So now, the moment we start teaching competencies and these other things, we don't concentrate on asking our children to name the 10 national game parks in an exam. Because they are known, They are here. You don't need to ask a child. If you want them, ask them to Google it.
Going forward, you not need, because they're already here. Going forward, you not
But
need.
we are asking kids to name the 10 national game parks in Uganda.
And if they fail to name them,
they have failed.
They have
Yet
failed.
the answers are already known. You're not teaching them to solve any problem. Now, if you had asked this child that Uganda has 10 national game parks, how can Uganda make them 20?
huh? Hey,
Now, do
That
you
is now
realize?
thinking.
Do you realize you will be free to ask them, go and put together your entire clan, discuss with them, get answers, because these answers the country needs them.
how can we increase the number of our game parks?
Thank you. How do we increase them from 10 to 20? So you get answers from Karamoja, you get answers from Katakwi, you get ideas from Sembabule, you get ideas from Barara.
You know what that would do? Even Busoga would have a national park.
Thank you very much. So, meaning now people are going to give you valuable ideas that you can actually implement and make money out of them, create employment out of them, make your country a better place. But
If
you
you told-
killed the child by simply asking
If
them
you told,
to tell you what they know.
yes, if you told the child in primary 3 and you gave them the assignment as that question, how to create more national parks for Uganda, by the time they reach primary 7, they'll have told you what it requires to have a national park. What would the animals eat? How would you feed them? Everything. That assignment alone would create us more game parks
Now,
than asking what they already
Thank you
know.
very much. You go ahead and ask kids, where is Uganda located? Is it going to migrate from the map? No. Let's be serious with our education system.
Uganda is located
Yes, where is Uganda
in the
located?
eastern part of Africa.
Is it going to migrate
No, it
one
can't.
day? You know? Now, ask a simple question to this child.
It is there.
Where will Uganda be in the next 10 years? Where do you want to see it in the next 10 years?
That's a different
It's
question.
a different
They will
question.
tell you how they want to have free education. Even if they say that they want to have milk at school.
Thank you.
It will be quality.
Now, do you know
answers.
what you are instilling in these kids? You are teaching them planning, strategizing, thinking, critical
Reasoning.
thinking, reasoning, consultation, debate, without actually teaching them to debate, without teaching them to critically think, without teaching them, you just pose the question.
And it provokes them into all these.
Inquiry-based learning. So now, you're not going to worry if a student copied, because there's no answer anywhere.
Oh, yeah, there is no answer to copy.
Actually, would be encouraged to
Respect.
ask a child to come and ask Simon. Well, I was asked about this question, that Uganda should be, where Uganda should be in 10 years. What do you think? The entire process is about learning.
It would actually involve the parent ably. Because the
Ably.
parent may make a suggestion
you.
in that regard.
Because you need them. And then continuous assessment is happening. You assess the responses of these kids and then move forward.
Now, you know the torture we have home? Our children return with homework.
And you don't even know these things. You can't
And now
help.
they want us to help them answer them. So the mother is for and say, "Emwa young, mwala wonza mbozi ze bintu biri wano." So you have a mind, you came with your own mind, you're thinking about different things. You have to help this child answer these questions. So the burden is for all of you.
All of us. So that's the new education we should think about, Mr. Simon.
Is that workable in Uganda?
It is
Can't
very,
we?
it is very workable.
Can't
What is, actually, what we are doing is complicated.
This would be simple.
This
according
is
to you.
simpler. Like now, it would be a little bit less costly,
Yes.
simpler,
Equalizing.
because now instead of having one teacher, you're having so many co-teachers. Parents are brought into this conversation because that's real life. Education that does not mirror real life, just know that that education is flawed.
I remember when I have a daughter at university, and I remember one day she provoked me into, I think, debate. was trying to make choices that I did journalism. Can you? He said, Daddy, me, I cannot do journalism. I said, why? She gave some reasons. And so I said, okay, if you were me. He said, if you were you, I wouldn't have studied that one. I said, okay, if you were me, what would you do differently? I cannot tell you the answers here. I was amazed.
Perfect.
That this daughter gave me a prescription of the life she would have lived if she were me. My daughter hates politics.
You see that?
Every time I make political sense, says, why do you go into that?
So,
he said, but who would save our country? You understand that debate?
I really get that.
And it's interesting to debate with with these young people, this kind of things. That's why I said, Dr. Muganga, for you to be useful to us, maybe you'd join government. Have opportunity to overhaul the whole education system from within here. Because in Uganda...
I will cross that bridge when it comes. But in the meantime, I really want to serve my country through Victoria University, do the best I can, the little thing I can contribute to this university by making Victoria University the greatest university you can have in East Africa, providing meaningful education, relevant education, such that we give back to the parents and the children, the students, the return on investment they have always desired. Have
you had the opportunity to read through the kind of reforms that they want to make, reduce the number of subjects at all level, have a learner-centered model as opposed to a teacher-driven model? What's your take on
And that's why I told you I applaud government, that better late than never.
You think they were going in the right direction?
Yes, that's the start. That is great. I am telling you, we have taken long. It's okay. People will say, we are not prepared. Okay. What do you have to lose? Whatever you have already is a failed system. So you're taking, it's like asking you, Simon, that you're going to have a meeting of two people. One is in a coma, another one is dead. Who do you want to talk to?
What's the difference?
The difference is that the one in coma may be listening.
But the dead one?
The dead is dead. So even us,
But does the one in a coma listen? And
yes, some people are in a coma, but they are listening, but they can't talk, right? So therefore, instead of us getting stuck to a system that is not working,
which is dead,
we shouldn't worry about one that, oh, we are not prepared, it is going to disturb us. No, let's keep going.
So you want us to talk to the man in a coma?
We are better off with the man in the coma than a person who is dead. So therefore, I applaud what the ministry is doing, from implementing competence-based learning for lower secondary, and what they put out. I saw it in the Monitor last Saturday, when they put out now the changes that are coming in high school, senior 5, senior 6. That is where we begin to see competence-based learning coming in, student-centered learning showing up, and then not pressurizing students that, oh, you have to finish senior 5, senior 6 in 2 years, like high school in 2 years. Competency-based. Until I meet particular competencies, let me move forward.
So the issue of time may not
be... education should not be about time. Education should be about mastery, the competencies you have. The moment you think you're competent enough to move to another level, you have mastered, move, please. The only thing I would have requested the ministry to do to really improve this, there too, is don't cap it to just 2 years. There are some students who are going to be competent in a year and a half. Let them sit these exams and move forward. Right?
Oh,
yes.
If somebody can in 1.5 years.
People can, 1.5 years or 1 year. They are competent enough to actually move forward. Let them sit their exams and move forward. And again, let exams like the continuous assessment that you're carrying from senior 5 to senior 6, I saw the proposal is to put it at 20%. That one should be actually more than the exam. Why? Why are you trusting what something has just done in 3 hours, and you're not trusting what a person has done from senior 5 to senior 6, 2 years? Why are you giving value the 3 hours and not value to the 2 years?
Thank you. Victoria University Vice Chancellor, Dr. Lawrence Muganga, the hot cup at 9 today. I want to thank Dr. Sudhir Rupal, having identified you from wherever you were and given you the opportunity to come and serve, because from that opportunity we are able to interact and share with you, but also to promise you that these very many ambitious things you want to do may not be done now, but certainly when our government comes, I look for you and we'll do many of these things, certainly.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you for giving us time. Kali, Baba TV program Muganga. Mkade hot cup at 9. Yulwadero, nchobo ndi kwenda kujimaliza. Ni Dr. Lawrence Muganga, Vice Chancellor wa Victoria University. Ako yulwadero, ebintu biri ekisoka. Ntibo bwaba kuwa ekifo wali kwenda okufuna ekifo ku Victoria University kya bwerere eza sente da kufuna kifo eza sente da kwewandisa. What is the difference? Sente da registration then admission. Yo ojabuje wafuna ekifo atandika okusoma alika nti kirungi n'abantu basome basobola okukola as opposed to okwenda okubita obupite grade kugula first grade gula second grade. Here's the question. There is a question that stuck in my mind that if first grades were the only problem Uganda needed, we have got enough to have moved to a better position, but we have not moved. Thank you for watching. Keep watching Baba TV. Ganga Mka ends here till tomorrow morning. Good morning.
This is Hot Cup at 9 with Sir Simon Muganga Lutaya.